Good afternoon, folks. This is Hunter Jackson again with Giant Recreation World, Winter Garden, Florida. Hey, first things first, huge thank you to everybody that watched the video last week. Something happened with the audio when it went into the compression for YouTube, and we're going to try to correct that this week. But I've got a super special unit. This is going to be a 2025 Coachmen Northern Spirit Bijou 16RDB, 16 feet on the box side, and RD for rear dinette and B for Bijou. This is going to be a terrific couples coach. It's very similar to the Keystone Bullet that I did a little while back, but it's a different brand and there's a couple different things that are a little bit more interesting about it. So feel free to enjoy and let's go ahead and get right into it. Thank you. Let's go. Alrighty guys, and just like normal, let's go ahead and start off on the front of this 2025 Northern Spirit Bijou. Right off the bat, I see one 20-pound LP tank up here. Now don't forget, you can always put a second one up here. This is a super lightweight unit. And before I get too ahead of myself, let's go ahead and check out the total length and total weight on this bad boy. This is going to be 3,009 pounds and then 20 feet 11 inches, including the bumper and the front tongue jack here. One thing you'll notice right off the bat, in my opinion, is going to be very similar to that of the Catalina 134 RDX that we did, is that it doesn't have a power front tongue jack. However, given that this unit is so lightweight, it's going to be up to you to decide if you want to have a little bit more ease of putting on your weight and sway kit device. Another thing you'll notice is that there are no batteries quite yet. We will put 2 on this unit because it does have solar on board as well as a 12-volt fridge, so it qualifies here at Giant Rec World. Moving down to the side here, I want to go ahead and point out our pass-through storage compartment because we do get quite a bit of space down here. So something that's super neat is that Northern Spirit is all aluminum framed, and they also have Azdel both front and back, so inside, outside. And then you'll notice off to the right-hand side here, I think this is super slick. So Northern Spirit puts these little fishing rod holders up here. So those of you guys that like to go fishing or a little bit more outdoorsy, you've got a spot to put them and you can clasp them out of the way. Little light in here to see what's going on. You can see we've got our power cord in here as well as the grill and an outside prep area because this does have an outside kitchen kind of esque thing. Backing out a little bit though, definitely got to point out the awning here. So we've got an LED light strip that goes all the way across, fairly standard in the industry these days, but this is a huge awning and they wasted no space. One thing that I really like, they gave it their darndest up here in the corner to take it all the way to the edge here to give you as much door clearance as possible. So you can see we've got the door at about a 45-degree angle or so. You can get in, get your groceries in very easy. Moving down and out to the side here, we do have, let's see, 15-inch, and that looks to be a steel rim, a fancy looking steel rim, but a steel rim all the same, as well as our, what do you call those? Tamarack tires. So that may be something y'all want to have upgraded into your good years down the road. I'm not sure if this brand here is an American made brand or not. Moving up, we do have our outside 110 ports here. That's going to be a nice way to plug in either a wireless television or maybe an outside griddle, and the exhaust vent for our furnace. Down here you'll see this little strip bar here. I've showed this a couple of times in other videos, but this is going to be where your grill plugs in at. And right down below, we've got our LP Quick Connect. While I'm down here, definitely got to point out this unit has 4-point stab jacks. So we've got 2 here in the rear, and then 2 more, if you can kind of see them, up there in the front. On a short unit like this, that's kind of a rare feature to have because it's going to be very easy to wiggle on this thing, but not when you have the 4 stab jacks. Moving to the back side, and I do want to point out, we've got window, and a third window around here, so we've got nothing but windows by your rear dinette, but they do include your 4-inch steel bumper. This is for your stinky slinky, as well as the spare tires. So that to me is a sign that the manufacturer is thinking about you guys out there and that this isn't quite an entry-level unit. Up above, we do have our Furrion camera prep here in the back. It's going to make it easy to see what's going on behind your truck while you're towing down the road. And The spare tire placement is very poor on this one. You can move it down, and I think Coachmen just kind of screwed up and put it in the middle on accident. But we do have a nice sized storage compartment here in the rear, and I'll try to do my best to show you what that looks like once we get inside. Moving around to the back. Again, we've got our third window over here. This unit does come with a tankless hot water heater. So this is on demand, a Fogatti unit, as well as our city water connection, an outside spigot to be able to, you know, wash your hands off, wash your feet off. And it's pretty darn close to where our sewer exit is, so you could theoretically wash out your stinky slinky hose before you tuck it into your 4-inch steel bumper. Down and off to the side, one thing I don't care about for this RV is that your city water connection is here and your black tank flush is over here. Super grateful that we have a black tank flush. I just wish they were closer together so we could use one hose. Can't really take a hose across the hot water heater here. This is a 30 amp coach with one AC, I believe, and we'll double check on the inside. I believe this is the GE AC. We'll talk about the features that come with that. You can see that our outside black gray tanks are super easy to access. We've got the gray handles here on the right and then the black handles on the left. And huge shout out to Jackery. They've been powering up my RVs. If for some reason anybody that works at Jackery sees this video, I would love to rep the product. Moving down a little bit more, we've got a window right above where our headboard would be for our bed. And this is the other side of that pass-through storage here. A lot of space down in here for all the goodies and knickknacks. You're probably every bit of 3.5, 4 feet across, and then however wide this is. I believe this is on the more narrow body. That's a difference between this and the Keystone. It's gonna be at a 7.5 foot wide body. I think I forgot to point it out, but if I didn't, then I'm sorry for saying it twice. Here in the front, we do have an automotive grade front windshield cap. This is gonna open up the space next to your bed, and there is a blackout shade that goes right on it. Let's go ahead and check out the inside. Alrighty, and walking into the 2025 Bijou 16RD, first thing I gotta point out is that we do have a solid step entry in here. Again, it's very, very nice. You have solid footing as you're taking your groceries or just yourself in and out of the camper. And then a nice size grab handle over here, something to help you get in very, very easily. Right as we walk in, whoa, almost missed it, we are greeted with our sound system. So this does have one speaker in here that's gonna be able to, you know, kind of play on the outside and the inside. It's right next to the door. This is a small unit. One speaker should cut it just fine. But moving up here, we do have our queen size bed. I fit on this thing no problem. Here, I'll show you. So I'm gonna put my feet on the wrong side because there's some outlets over here. But as you can see, at like 6'1", 6'2", with shoes on, I fit no problem. I could have a second person over here. This would be very, very comfortable for a couple on this camper. Moving around, let me spin that camera around. I want to show you your storage above the bed here. These are probably every bit of a foot deep or so and fairly tall, so you can fit all your shorts and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. You see our front windshield that gets you all the views there in the morning right as you wake up, as well as an opening emergency exit window right above your head. Both come with, actually every single window on here has a blackout shade on it. They do include a USB-A, USB-C port on both sides for his and for hers. A little storage here in the rear. This would be a good spot to put your phone at night. An end table, maybe a picture or two, and then we do have 110 plugs over here. So if you need a CPAP machine, that would be a great spot for that to plug into. I'm gonna back it up a little bit here. This is a fairly small camper, so I wanna make sure I can do my best to show you everything that's going on. Right to the left of the door, we are greeted with a kitchen with a couple of drawers here that are fairly deep. I've got my stuff in here. I like that it comes all the way out and lets you get access to the rear. The one right below is the same size. We've got, oh, there we go, a little cabinet down here. This may be a good spot to put a tote or something to easy access things you're gonna need right before you leave the coach. To the right of that, we've got one more cabinet door here, whoop, with a couple of shelves. This is probably gonna be where you either keep some cleaning supplies up here, maybe a couple pieces of food down below, because there's not a ton of cabinetry space on this. Moving up, we do have our steel sink with our movable faucet and then a little bit of a, what do you call these things? Dish drying rack up here. I don't know how many dishes you're gonna be doing in this coach. You probably paper plate that thing up, but you got it if you need it. And then up above, you step to the side here, We've got more pantry space. I think the storage is adequate because this camper is very likely to be used by somebody that's going to be going for a weekend or maybe, you know, 4 or 5 nights at a time. You can fit all your food here. You can see we do have our, let me move this out of the way here, our 2-burner Greystone induction stovetop. And if you like having a adult beverage while you're cooking, you've got your bottle opener right next to it. Off to the side, you can see we've got a couple outlets here. And then right above the sink here, we've got 2 more outlets to plug in, you know, an air fryer or coffee machine. Below the burners are going to be your microwave. Now this is, let's see here. Did this on the last video. Okay, this is a regular microwave. Looks kind of fancy, but this is straight microwave for popcorn. No convection. And below that, we've got our, what do you call it? Furnace exhaust vent here. Right in behind the kitchen, we do have our 10 cubic foot, 12 volt Furrion refrigerator and freezer combo. This is going to be way overkill for the amount of food you're probably going to be taking with you, but it's going to make it feel nice and homey that it's big. Don't forget, you do have solar on board, so you can leave your popsicles and such in here as long as you have the adequate batteries and solar put on. Moving around to the back here, this is our rear dinette area, and I intentionally left the table down because 1, I've showed the table a couple of times, and 2, I think this would be a terrific option. So obviously, I say obviously, if you've seen any of my other videos, this style of table has the 2 posts that go up into this table over here, and the table lays flat and you can make this into a bed. However, I think that this would be great if you're just going that this is now a giant couch. So if you put this table here in the middle, or if you have 6 people or so sitting around the edge here, as we turn around, you can see everybody's going to be able to have a view on the TV here. We've got our satellite plug right here, as well as 110. Moving up above where the TV was at, we've got additional storage. My guess is this will probably be used for possibly clothing, maybe drawers and underwear, things like that. And across the way here, more storage. Something that's fairly unique about the Northern Spirit line is that we have what's called a barreled roof, and I don't know if you can tell from the video, but the whole roof is rounded out, which makes the thing feel a little bit taller, as well as just bigger overall. The way our brains think, if we've got space above our head, it makes us think there's space around us too. So I kind of like that they've carried that even into the Bijou model. This is going to be a GE, let's call it, let's see here, can I cheat? We'll put it up on the screen on how many BTUs this AC is, but this is a centralized AC direct dump. It's going to be plenty of cooling for this size of unit. Moving down towards the restroom, which is right here in the middle, you can see we've got the controls for our furnace, and then a traditional non-pocket door for the bathroom here. With certainty, I know that Northern Spirit was not cheaping out with this toilet because this unit is all about lightweight. It's a plastic toilet, but they're going for weight savings here. This is just as good as the others. They just clean a little bit different. Forgive the pink stuff in there. That's just a little bit of winterization product. Up above, we do have our sink and a huge medicine cabinet. Really like that we've got 2 doors here. It may be a little bit overkill, but I love the storage always. This is maybe 3 inches deep by 2.5 feet across. You can fit everything you need in there. And then one thing I did before I started filming today to cool this thing off is we do have a fan in the bathroom and an additional fan right over where you're cooking at. So you can actually get some pretty darn good airflow once you get these windows open without running your AC. This is going to be your shower area here. Looks to be about a 36 by 24 shower. Plenty of space though, because we do have our skylight here. So I'm standing up straight. I have all the room in the world. This is at a good angle. You know, you shower up right here, get out there, start camping again. One thing I don't care for too much is going to be this curtain style off to the side. There are ways around this. You can always add in doors or a more traditional RV curtain. And then below that, we've got the sink area, and below the sink, additional storage. This is probably going to be used for possibly a trash can, seeing as though we have no shelf that goes across. And right to the right of that, we've got storage for, you know, extra toilet paper, cleaning supplies, things like that. Off to the side, traditional paddle switch for our lights. This is our controls for our tankless hot water heater, as well as a GFCI protected outlet. Let's get one more pan around on the 2025 Northern Spirit Bijou 16RDB. Very nice. Alrighty folks, this was a short, easy, sweet review of the 2025 Coachmen Northern Spirit Bijou. Thought this was a good unit to show. It seemed like a lot of you guys out there really appreciated the Keystone Bullet 1900 RD we did a while back. So I thought this would be a good competitor. People can kind of choose, you know, do you want a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier? I need something a little bit more lightweight. There's a lot of SUVs out there that can only tow 3,500 pounds, so this would work out as long as you're weight conscious. Again, huge thank you to everybody that watched the video last week. I was very irritated seeing that the next morning and seeing how the audio came out over my TV. But I appreciate everybody. Again, if anybody wants to see anything Forest River, Thor, or Keystone related, drop a comment down below or hit the video with a like. Those are the things that help out the channel and the algorithm and all the cool things that come with YouTube. So that's all I got for now. Again, this is Hunter with Giant Recreation World, Winter Garden, Florida, and we'll see you next week. Later.